Level 1. The application. You apply to the police department. They require a high school diploma, a clean criminal record, and high physical endurance. You begin filling out the form. Pages of questions stretch before you. Background checks, substance use, gaps in your employment history. 4 months later, you receive an invitation to the examination. A written interview, psychological analysis, and a fitness course await you. Then comes the oral board stage. 3 ranking officers sit across from you and cross-examine you. Why do you want this uniform? What would you do if you discovered your partner was involved in a crime? They measure your integrity and your composure under pressure. The background investigation deepens. They speak individually with your family, your friends, your former partners. They carefully comb through your financial history and your digital footprint. 6 months after the first step, the awaited call comes. You've been approved. And from that second on, your world will never be the same again. Level 2. You are a candidate. The academic process lasts 26 weeks, a grueling, wearing 6 months. You wake at dawn, and physical conditioning begins. Running, push-ups, close combat techniques. Mornings are spent studying criminal law, constitutional articles, and use of force doctrine. You spend your days at the firing range. Your hands grow familiar with weapons like the Glock and the Remington. You run simulations and drills, domestic disturbance calls, vehicle stops, active shooter scenarios, all experienced under the guidance of your instructors. In this phase, you grasp the heaviest truth. Every shift could be your last. Some candidates cannot bear this pressure and drop out mid-training. Those who remain graduate. You receive your badge, your weapon, your oath. You raise your right hand and swear to protect and to serve. You are now a member of law enforcement. Level 3. You are a patrol officer. Your first assignment, a squad car, the streets, the front line. You are at the very heart of reality. For 3 months, you are paired with a field training officer. You observe, you absorb, you learn the trade. In your first week, you respond to a domestic violence call. A woman with a bruised eye, a drunk husband, children crying in the background. Words knot in your throat. Your partner steps forward, and you stand to the side, memorizing how this is handled. In your first month, you make your first arrest. It feels strange because you have just restricted someone's freedom. Your colleagues say you'll get used to it, but you never do. In your first year, you see everything. A fatal collision comes over the radio. A teenager texting while driving, the car wrapped around a tree. That night you go home. You can't eat. You can't sleep. That face visits your dreams at midnight. Your partner asks if you're okay. You say you're fine. But that is the second lie you've told that day. This is the job. 80% monotony, 10% horror, and the rest, uncertainty. Level 4. You are a detective. After 10 years on the streets, you are promoted to detective. Now you work with case files, real cases, evidence that demands tracking, secrets waiting to be uncovered. You are assigned to the robbery division. You scan camera footage, interview witnesses, identify suspects. You make the arrest. The jury convicts. 8 years in prison. You've put 2 people behind bars, and this time there isn't just a name on a form. There is a concrete outcome. Cases grow broader over time. Theft rings, organized crime. You are making a difference, but it comes at a cost. 60 hours a week, and you are missing your child's games, your wedding anniversaries, the small but precious moments. Your spouse says you've changed so much. You don't argue. You know they're right. Level 5. You are a sergeant. It's your 15th year on the job, and you've been promoted to sergeant. You now supervise a patrol unit. The responsibility for 6 officers rests on your shoulders. You manage people, sign reports, review complaints. During one operation, a member of your team uses excessive force. The suspect files a complaint. You investigate your own officer. The officer receives a disciplinary penalty and blames you. But you did the right thing. The question from the oral board comes back to you. What would you do if a colleague committed a crime? You didn't fully understand it then, but you do now. Then time passes. One day, one of your officers opens fire on a man with a knife. The shooting is ruled justified self-defense, but the officer can no longer cope. They are no longer the same, no longer committed to the job, and ultimately resign. You carry that weight, because you were the one who sent them there. Level 6. You are a lieutenant. 20 years in, and you are promoted to lieutenant. You are no longer on the streets. Multiple units, 50 officers, budgets, schedules, training programs. Your entire day passes in meetings. You walk out of one session and straight into another. The officers beneath you want more patrols. The public wants less enforcement. You are caught in the middle, trying to satisfy both. While wrestling with all of this, you neglect your family. Your marriage ended 4 years ago, and you took it so calmly that perhaps you had been expecting it to end far sooner. Your children live with their mother. You see them once every 3 weeks. A voice inside tells you that you were not made for this profession, yet there is nothing you can do. This is the life you chose. Level 7. You are a captain. It has been exactly 25 years since you joined the force. You run the entire precinct, 500 officers, dozens of divisions, a different crisis every day. That month, crime rates rise. You increase patrols, send extra officers to problem areas. Heavy enforcement suffocates the community. Light enforcement drives crime rates up. Every day you carefully maintain this balance. A handful of officers under your command are caught stealing drugs. The story breaks in the media. You take responsibility, implement reforms, and slowly work to rebuild trust. The shadow of the past falls over every step you take. Years of effort, everything you gave up, every choice you made. All of it. Level 8. Deputy Chief. 28 years in, and you're the second in command of the entire department. Inside everything and above everything at once. You run the whole organization. Patrol, detectives, special operations, 3,000 officers, and a $200 million budget. You advise the chief, implement policy, manage crises, and by now the word crisis has grown into something much larger than it used to be. You're in constant meetings with the mayor, the city council, community leaders, and every one of them comes in with a different agenda. One day an officer shoots an unarmed person. The video goes viral, and suddenly everything avalanches. Protests, riots, national media attention. You're trying to manage the response, the investigation, and the wreckage behind both at the same time. You're balancing justice against protecting your officers, and that balance never quite settles. The shooting is ruled unjustified. The officer is charged. The department gets sued. The city pays out millions. You implement reforms. Body cameras, de-escalation training, civilian oversight. But the damage is done, and the trust is broken, and you know it. You gave 30 years to this work. You sacrificed marriages, birthdays, small moments that don't come back. You're exhausted, you're hollowed out, and you recognize yourself less and less in the mirror. But you can't walk away. Not yet. Not like this. Level 9. You are the chief of police. Your 30th year on the job, and you have finally reached the top. You answer to city management, the municipal council, and the public. Your personnel work grueling hours. Your budget is shrinking. And while the community expects more policing, the city refuses to pay for it. You cut services, reduce units, and you sense that it will be the people on the streets who pay the price. But you have no other choice. At the end of 6 years as chief, 36 years in total, you retire. A ceremony is held. The mayor speaks, applause rises. A plaque, a handshake. You hand over your badge, you hand over your weapon, and in that moment, you feel an emptiness in your hands. You survived, but for what? Your health has faltered, your family has drifted away, and you gave everything you had to this profession. As you make your way home, somewhere out there a young person is filling out an application form. There is no weariness in their eyes yet. They too are chasing the same childhood dream you once had. If they knew how it would end, would they still apply? That question will remain inside you, a vast and unanswered thing. Level 10, retired. You wake up at 5 in the morning. It's a 36-year habit. The body still knows. You stand up, reach for the closet to hang your uniform, and then you stop, because there is no uniform anymore. The closet is empty. No badge, no gun. You don't have to go anywhere today. No one is waiting for you. This thought should comfort you, but instead, it feels strangely suffocating. You make coffee and sit at the kitchen table. No radio, no codes, No emergency calls. There is only silence, and this silence is much louder than you expected. For 36 years, silence was a luxury, something out of reach. Now, it surrounds you, and you don't know what to do with it. During the first week, you try to keep yourself busy. You read the newspaper, tend to the garden, call an old friend. But beneath it all, there is a void, an unnameable gap that cannot be filled. Your entire life was built around a purpose: calls, decisions, responsibility. Now, there is only an ordinary day stretching from morning to night, and no one ever taught you how to spend it. In the second week, you go grocery shopping. The market is crowded, the aisles are narrow, people are squeezed together. Your shoulders tense, your eyes scan the room, your instincts search for an exit. Then you realize, there is no danger, only people with shopping carts. You take a deep breath, but your hands are still shaking. Sleep is still difficult at night. Dreams come. Some are old cases, some are moments you lost, some are faces whose names you can't even remember. You wake up, staring at the ceiling in the dark, and your mind is still active, still analyzing, still planning the next move. But there is no next move. There is only the morning, and that morning will come again at 5. Old colleagues call from time to time. There's a retirement gathering, someone's promotion is being celebrated, there's a new development in the department. You attend, you see the old faces, you drink coffee. But you're no longer on the inside, and everyone knows it, including you. At some point, the conversation shifts to active cases, current problems, departmental issues, and you listen in silence. You no longer have access to that information without a badge and a title. You are just yourself, and remembering who that is taking much longer than you thought. You start calling your children. You apologize for the games you missed over the years, the school plays, the ordinary dinners. Your eldest son is understanding, but your daughter keeps her distance. A person can only forgive so much absence. You learn you have a grandchild, tiny hands, curious eyes. The first time you hold them, you feel something inside you soften. Perhaps this feeling was what you spent years trying to define. You don't know. You go to the doctor for a routine checkup. High blood pressure, chronic back pain, memory issues. The toll of the years has finally come due on your body. The doctor listens, takes notes, and finally says, "You need to rest a bit." You smile, but you think to yourself, "I worked my whole life without resting. How am I supposed to learn how to rest now?" In the evenings, you sometimes get in the car and just drive. You follow the routes of your old patrols, past the old corners, through the old troubled neighborhoods. You look through the window. Some faces are familiar, some buildings have changed, some corners are quiet. You don't intervene anymore. You don't write reports. You don't make decisions. You just pass through, and it feels like a strange freedom, but it also feels like a loss. In the third month of retirement, you realize something. Your identity was so intertwined with that badge that you don't know what's left beneath it when you take it off. I was a police officer, you say, unable to find meaning in any other answer. Finding out who you are now is perhaps harder than finding out who you would become all those years ago. But the mornings still come. You wake up at 5, make your coffee, and this time when you sit at the table, you look out the window. The street is calm, the world turns slowly, and there is no call for today. Getting used to this idea will take time. Maybe a year, maybe more. But perhaps this is the final lesson you were meant to learn.